Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's your girl Spooky here, and today we are doing something a little different. As you can see, I have my face cam on, which isn't normal, especially since I don't have my webcam yet. So it's this camera quality from the computer itself. But today we're doing something a little different. Today we will be reviewing a YouTube series or analog horror called, hold on, let me, VITA CARNIS, whatever it is. This first video is called Intro and the Crawl, and credits to Darian. I'm not even going to attempt to say the last name, but obviously he is the creator. As you can see, there's something strange there. There should be a warning at the beginning of the video, so if there's not, I will put one up for you guys. Anyway, let's get right into it here. Let me move this. Okay, and let's play. Warning, gore, violence, death, viewer discretion advised. Okay. Sit back and relax, I guess. Classified material. Federal law provides severe civil and criminal penalties for the unauthorized viewing of this footage. The possession of this footage may lead into investigation and detention. Penalty of $500,000. That's a lot. Like, a lot.
On planet Earth, life has thrived for millions of years. Creatures big and small have found ways to adapt and evolve to flourish in all types of environments. From barren wastes to lush forests, life can be found. Earth has homed these creatures since the dawn of life itself. Only until very recently, things have changed. New life forms have appeared all around the globe and completely changing the balance of nature and what we know about evolution itself.
What is that? You know what it looks like? It looks like a roly-poly. That's what it looks like, okay.
That is why we, at National Living Meat Research, have been studying these new species, trying to help educate everyone about these creatures and their wondrous ways of life. First, what are these new life forms? Since their explosive arrival across the globe in 1931, there has been much debate on what these newcomers are and where they came from. Are they extraterrestrials coming to invade Earth? Or are they demons who come from hell to purge humanity? From what our scientists have discovered, no. The origins of these creatures are solely to Earth, miraculously out of nowhere. We don't know why or how, but one thing is for certain, Earth is now their home. What these creatures are is mysterious and still not well known today. But here is what we do know.
What we know.
These creatures are comprised mainly of muscle tissue, organs, and bones. They greatly resemble animals with no skin, or store-bought meat. Because of these characteristics, they have been named accordingly as VITA CARNIS. The CARNIS species consume decaying, organic matter, but their main diet is composed of raw meat, not including their CARNIS relatives.
Okay, so they don't
The CARNIS only appear in places where there is an abundance of crawl, which leads to the first creature of the CARNIS species, the crawl. The crawl is a growth of meaty tendrils that closely resemble the small intestine, the only difference being the dark red coloration. These tendrils grow in a similar pattern as vines, mold.
If you guys know what that is, I'll probably put a picture up of what a nerve cell is, but holy. So far, it's not too bad. Kind of still scared, but I think we're okay.
Mold, or fungi. A primary stem structure.
It's veins, dude. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Look, and it's decaying. Like, do you see all of that? Oh my god. Dude, you would not get me to eat that. Could you imagine how sick you would get? Oh, mm-mm. No thanks.
Structure is the host to divisions of other, smaller branches. In each tendril contains a variety of veins, arteries, and other similar organs used to transport nutrients absorbed from its surroundings. The ends of these tendrils are equipped with organelles used to absorb water and organic matter necessary for growth.
Okay, so it's like a
The source of these organic materials is mainly found in dirt and soil on surrounding surfaces. Using its root-like tendrils.
Did you see it on the house? Go back.
The source of these organic materials is mainly found in dirt and soil on surrounding surfaces.
Look at that. No thanks. No. Nope.
Using its root-like tendrils, it absorbs the material and processes it into usable energy. Although, the crawl also obtains energy through another means. Using a sophisticated form of photosynthesis, the dark pigmentation of the smaller branches is ideal for absorbing sunlight, and therefore allowing solar energy to fuel the crawl's growth. Because of its efficiency, it thrives in almost all types of environments, easily allowing it to spread across the world, and can be found pretty much anywhere.
Oh, not there, not there.
Its recent inclusion in the ecosystem has caused many major changes.
Okay, that's what I call an invading species. Sorry, Esther, for your house. Here, I'll turn this off since it's getting in the way. What? No thanks.
Major changes in nature's balance. One may assume that the crawl's presence may outcompete any other competitors, but due to its unique life cycle, where old branches fall off and decay into nutrient-rich compost, all forms of life seemingly flourish instead.
Oh.
The crawl's abundance grants plenty of nourishment to all animals, from plants feeding on the decayed crawl, herbivores thriving on increased plant population, and carnivores feeding on both the abundant prey, and are able to eat the crawl as well. The presence of all these animals leave behind waste, which will be broken down and consumed by the crawl, and the cycle begins again. This form of symbiosis leads to an environment where all populations thrive. Humanity also uses the crawl to our advantage. Because of the supernatural rate of growth and its richness in nutrients.
Do y'all see that? Hold on.
Advantage. Because of the supernatural rate of growth, the crawl to our and its richness in because of the supernatural rate of growth and its richness in nutrients.
Do you see that?
Its richness in nutrients. Because of the supernatural rate of growth and
It was
richness in nutrients, it has been sustainably cultivated into domestic farms. The krill is harvested
so
and
we can eat
processed
it.
into fertilizer, which greatly increases crop yield and quality. The krill may also be used as a food source for humans, and reliably so. But due to its unkindly appearance and taste, it has yet to reach cuisine standards.
I wouldn't eat it.
The krill also plays a very important role in the next creatures that we have been studying.
7. It can produce 7 different creatures. Uh-oh. No thanks. Nope.
Sometimes, in a krill-populated environment, a node of meat may develop on one of the branches. This node will fall off and grow into a functioning organism, and go to live on as an independent animal. This leads us to the upcoming species that we will be discussing. The first of these creatures are the trimmings.
The trimmings. Same warning as before, but this time we're learning about the trimmings. Ooh. Flashing lights. I forgot to say that last time. Viewer discretion advised. This one's not too long.
The trimmings. Trimmings are small animals that
Do you see the face? Hello? Oh my god. It looks like a fetus. No thanks.
that resemble skinned raccoons. They are commonly known to have a
Skinned
plump body,
raccoon.
round head, small eyes, nose and ear holes, and an agape mouth. They are also equipped with a diversity of limbs. All individual trimmings are unique, each with a different body shape, number of limbs, and other characteristics.
Ooh.
One thing they all share in common is that they are made mostly of meat tissue, and are a maximum of 20 centimeters in length, no larger than a basketball.
So they don't have any skin.
Its life starts with its separation from the krill. It will wonder to find anything that is edible and able to consume. Although it is an omnivore, being able to hunt meat and forage for plant matter, trimmings are almost entirely scavengers. Their diet consists of rotting plants and meat, including, but not limited to, fruits, vegetables, roots, seeds, insects, and deceased animals.
Not humans.
Although its
Remember.
appearance
No.
is unsightly, it is a cowardly creature, only fleeing,
No thanks.
screeching, and hiding when threatened. Because of its lack of defensive traits, it lies near the bottom of the food chain, making it easily overpowered and picked off very regularly by predators. Naturally,
So wouldn't it
its
go down?
population would eventually die out. This is not the case. The krill constantly produces a large quantity of trimming nodes, keeping up their numbers. Naturally, trimmings can be found wherever there is abundant
Oh
krill.
my gosh.
Trimmings grow at a decent pace,
They're
reaching
everywhere.
maturity at around 7 months, having a maximum
How long do
lifespan
they
of 2 to
live
4
for?
years.
Oh.
Although they are plentiful, humanity has no proper way to implement trimmings into society. Their overabundance has even considered them pests,
See them?
due to them digging through trash bins and making
my
excessive noise
gosh.
at night. Besides all of this, some
You've
people
gotta be
still
kidding
keep
me.
trimmings as pets, and relatively domesticate them. Nuisance or not, trimmings are a wondrous creature, from their plentiful numbers, to their skittish nature. They are truly a thing to behold.
No, they're not.
The next species on our list is the meat snake.
The meat snake. The meat snake. Are you serious? Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Mm-mm. No thanks. Meat snakes. It's cold. Oh my gosh, I hate winter.
The meat snake.
That
The
doesn't
meat
look like it's
snake
gonna
is a
be fun.
worm-like creature, made of a variety of types of meat, coated in a
It's
transparent,
like a dinosaur.
skin-like membrane. Its size varies during its lifespan, depending on how much it consumes. When it first separates from the crawl, it is only a
Look at
few
that!
centimeters in length. Eventually, it will reach an average length of 5 meters. Although, under extreme conditions, like natural disasters, war, or plague, it can greatly surpass this length.
No way. Nope, 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 nope. Do you guys see what I'm seeing? If there are deaths doing with any of these three, any of them, it grows because it feeds off of dead things. No.
Length. The meat snake's diet consists entirely of dead animals or parts. A meat snake is incapable of consuming a healthy, living organism.
So it can't eat
The meat
people.
snake locates its food by using a tongue-like organ covered in sensors to touch and feel its environment. The sensors catch particles of decaying meat, notifying the meat snake that there is food nearby. This process shares many similarities to regular snakes, hence the meat snake's name. Once it locates the corpse, the meat snake will open its jaw and swallow the entire body whole. Once the entire body is consumed, the meat snake's stomach will release a variety of chemicals. Some will break down soft tissue like skin, and the connection points between muscles. Others chemicals will then ferment and preserve the tissue to keep it from breaking down for as long as possible. After that, the remaining flesh and bones will move along the meat snake's tract, and slowly be implemented into its own structure, extending the meat snake. Unsatisfactory parts like skulls, pelvises, hair, and fingernails will be excreted. Speaking of skulls, the meat snake will take the skull from the consumed organism and use it as its own. Each meat snake has its own skull.
There's a human one. No thanks.
Each corresponding to what that one has consumed.
I think there's a rhino.
During its lifespan, it will swap or replace these skulls if needed. A meat snake's lifespan depends entirely on how much a meat snake consumes. The longest one has lived for was 28 years.
Jeez.
The meat snake has no predators and is immune to disease, due to its preserving chemicals. The only significant ways a meat snake can die is through starvation, burning, or complete destruction of the meat snake's membrane coating.
Wow.
Interestingly, the meat snake is the only member of the CARNIS family that is able to reproduce. When a meat snake reaches an excessive size, and is in the conditions to do so, it will commence mitosis, splitting itself in two. Then the now two meat snakes will go on their separate ways and live on as two distinct organisms.
Duplicates.
Meat snakes can only be found in moderate temperature climates, not too hot,
poor
not
North
too
Carolina.
cold.
Never mind.
Their population depends entirely on the amount of
Idiots.
corpses available. Where there is death, there are meat snakes. Humanity will use them to our advantage. Meat snakes are a very efficient and clean way of disposing of any meat products. The preserving fluid within the meat snake's body disinfects the carrion, preventing the spread of disease.
So it can't catch.
Humans use meat snakes in butcher shops as a waste bin, dispose roadkill, within war on the battlefield to dispose of festering bodies and parts, and within zoos to dispose of deceased animals. They are extremely tame, not caring if any creature is around them. only
doesn't
acting
look tame.
defensively when it is within consuming a meal.
Look, it's a
This means they are
triangle.
very easy to tame. Overall, meat snakes are a
Oh my
marvelous
gosh.
creature with a very interesting way of sustaining itself. It
They
is an
don't look
amazing
marvelous.
experience to encounter one, as long as you don't mind the smell. Our next creature is the mimic.
Five Nights at Freddy's reference? Mimics. That's the video we're on.
The mimic. The mimic is a bipedal creature with uncanny similarities to humanoid anatomy. They greatly resemble humans without skin, with added exaggerated features. These features include extended finger length, longer limbs, bulging, empty
Imagine
eyes,
seeing this in
and
the
their most
wild.
prominent feature, a wide, teeth-filled smile.
Oh,
Although it
look at
resembles
how
a happy face,
happy.
this is due to coincidence, and is only how their facial structure is shaped.
So they're not happy?
The maw of the mimic contains much more teeth than humans, and their teeth is comprised almost entirely of incisors, with some canine and premolars in the back. This tooth composition is ideal for biting down onto meat and swallowing chunks whole. A mature mimic's diet is comprised entirely of human flesh.
I'm sorry, what? Human flesh. Dead, right? Like corpses? Get it off the screen!
Because of this, they are found solely around human-populated areas. The mimic's life cycle is made of 3 stages. In the first stage, a young mimic separates from the crawl. They closely resemble their trimming relatives, but are thin, sleek, and only have 4 appendages. In this stage, the young mimic will hunt small animals, moving on to larger and larger as they grow. Once large enough, it will begin metamorphosis into the next stage of life. Once fully transformed, it will resemble the description mentioned in the beginning. Its hunting style changes and becomes much more.
Mimic locked inside home after owner escaped. These things are after live people.
More complicated. It now stalks and feeds only on humans. It will locate human-populated
What was that? I don't know if you guys saw that.
Area and begin its search for an easy target. To blend in, it may use objects to conceal itself. These include clothing, mannequins, and furniture.
They're smart. So they either hide in mannequins or chairs or what is it called? What's it called?
Search for an easy target. To blend in, it may use objects to conceal itself. These include clothing, mannequins, and furniture. Once a target has been found, the mimic will observe its prey and learn its routine and when it is most vulnerable. This is typically when the human is asleep at night.
I don't know if I want to record this anymore. Whatever.
At night. Once the prey is within position, the mimic will advance silently until it is close enough. The mimic will then execute and immediately begin consumption. Once the mimic has had its fill, it will leave the scene, a fair distance away from the human population, and begin to digest its meal.
Look at it.
Although, in the case that a human is awake, a mimic will use a variety of sounds to either lure or startle prey.
Did y'all hear that? No.
In the case that a human is awake, a mimic will use a variety of sounds to either lure or startle prey into cornering themselves. Once a human is in place, it will swiftly attack and kill the helpless target.
Oh my god, I'm gonna throw up. Oh my god. No. I'm turning my volume down. Mm-mm. Oh my god, it's gonna open the door, it's gonna open the door, it's gonna be there, it's gonna be there, it's gonna be there, it's gonna be there. Oh! Oh. I'm gonna need a second, hold on. Okay, as you can see, now we have acquired a Santa hat, so we can keep it all nice and cheery in here. We got my ghost in here, and we have Chips Ahoy. So I took a mental break because that got me really good. I closed the blinds, I locked up the closet over there. Oh, we're not even done. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay.
The next stage of the mimic's life cycle has two potential morphs it may develop into. If a mimic has a consistent supply of food, it will develop more human-like features. It will grow skin, hair, and by the end will look nearly identical to a human being. It now can blend entirely into civilization and lure other humans more effectively.
No.
The second type of morph happens when a mimic receives an overabundance of food. It will grow into a larger, more evolved hunter. Its proportions will increase in length, and its humanoid features will fade away. It grows a thick, dark
That's what
coating of a
attacked the
flexible
girl.
skin, which is highly durable, and increases in strength the more the elder mimic consumes. This excludes the face, which is now coated in a pale pink skin. The mimic's teeth have also moved deeper into the mimic's throat, leaving its mouth a toothless grin. It uses the dark hue of its skin to hide seamlessly within a dark environment. Its skills have also been heightened. This makes an elder mimic one of the most efficient predators on the planet. Because of the obvious threat this poses on humanity, nations around the world have released instructions on how to be able to fend for yourself in a mimic encounter. Here are the instructions.
1. Avoid going out alone if your location is known to have mimics, or there have been mimic sightings. 2. If you encounter a stationary mimic, seemingly unfazed by your presence, quietly leave the location and alert your local authorities. 3. If pursued by a mimic, get yourself into a position where you are able to flee. Mimics will rarely attack if a person has a clear escape route. 4. In the event that you have been cornered by a mimic, roll into the fetal position, protecting your neck, face, and vital organs from attack. Make as much noise as you can to alert any other people. 5. If you have a weapon, do not use it. A mimic is fairly resilient, and any strikes or shots on a mimic is not effective enough to bring it down in time. Instead, use it as a barrier between you and the mimic to block any attacks. 6. In a situation where a mimic is hunting in the immediate area, and is not aware of your position, hide somewhere low, like under a bed or behind other furniture. A mimic will not linger too long to search for prey, and will move on.
Be safe, and avoid any encounters with a mimic at all costs. Next up, the Harvester.
I'm really nervous after that last one. The Harvesters.
The Harvester. The Harvester is a large, bulbous mass, with a large amount of tendrils spreading from the base. The bulb measures around 3 meters in height and 2 meters in diameter. The tendrils, on the other hand, can extend up to 150 meters in diameter horizontally. The Harvester is a specialized form of crawl that grows in a unique and deadly way. A harvester is created when a node, that will grow into a harvester, instead of separating, continues to grow. Eventually, it will grow tendrils of its own. It uses the energy provided by its mother branch and expands its reach further. Its tendrils, hidden just below the surface of the ground. The harvester is equipped with 2 types of specialized tendrils. The first type is bulky and flat. They lie the closest to the surface. These branches are lined on each length of the tendril with spines, extending in the shape of a bear trap. On each side of the branch, those particular spines have a vein that feed into them, that pump 2 types of venom. On one side, the spines can inject a neurotoxin, which will attack the nervous system of whomever it is injected into, causing sudden paralysis.
That's creepy.
The other side can inject an anticoagulant, which when injected, prevents blood cells from clotting. Whenever a large animal moves across the area armed with these tendrils, the branches will clamp onto the animal and thrash violently. Once the prey has been injected with both venoms, the tendrils will rest and the prey will immediately collapse. The animal will be unable to move due to the paralysis, and the wounds caused by the thrashing spines will not stop bleeding. All the prey can do is lie patiently, until succumbing to blood loss. Once the prey has bled out, the second type of tendrils come in. They lie below the spine equipped once. These branches are thick, but very sturdy. They share similar anatomy to the small branches of the crawl, equipped with organelle that absorbs nutrients. These tendrils sense the blood, and move their way to the surface and begin to absorb the vital fluid. Once the blood has been consumed, the tendrils will wrap around the body and begin to shuffle downwards. This movement loosens the soil and slowly pull the body underground. Once secure, the tendrils will continue to feed until there is nothing but scraps. The nourishment absorbed by the tendrils will be sucked back into the main bulb of the harvester. This bulb houses all the vital organs and the venom glands that pump into the spines. The nutrients are then converted into usable energy. The remains underground decompose, providing a rich soil, causing very prominent plant growth, which then attracts more animals. A strange behavior the harvester displays is its choice of diet. The spines will only activate on larger animals, allowing smaller ones to pass by unaffected. The spines will also not activate on some species of bird. There are a couple theories as to why this happens. 1. It could be that attacking smaller animals would cost too much energy for what they get in return, making it not worth the time. Another could be that smaller animals may attract larger animals or predators, allowing a safe place where prey may thrive and lure more predators. It truly is astonishing. Although it is a spectacular creature, it is also very dangerous. The harvester is decently rare, only populating sparse areas in the northern hemisphere and woodland forests.
Once again,
if you are stung by a harvester, there will be no way of helping you, being that there is no cure, and fatality is 100% positive. The best thing you can do is avoid encountering a harvester in the first place. If you are hiking, take note of any warnings or signs saying that there are harvesters around. If you also notice an abundance of lush, ground-dwelling plants in a forested area, and there are no signs of wildlife, this is suspicious and you should leave the area, staying close to the base of large trees or rocks. If you find yourself in the middle of a harvester ground, do not panic. Sudden movements may activate the tendrils and will inject you. Although a harvester is rather forgiving, do not risk any skittish movements. Remain calm. If you have any objects with considerable heft, like coats, backpacks, or full water bottles, gently take that object and lightly toss it towards the bulb, and away from your escape route. This will activate the spines on where the object lands, distracting the bulb for a moment. You will then slowly begin to do wide shuffles away from the bulb. If possible, throw another object when you are certain you are a fair enough distance away, just to be safe. Continue until you are completely sure you are out of harm's way. You may come out unscathed, but don't be too obnoxious, or you will be a harvester's next meal. Next up is the host.
The host? Look at that! No thanks. Nope. Host of the influence.
The host of influence. The host of influence, more commonly referred to as the host, has its name derived from a host who invites guests to an event. Not to be confused with a host, a harborer of parasites or disease. The host is a semi-humanoid looking organism. It has the structure of a head, torso, and arms. Other than this, it shares no other characteristics. The lower half of the host is comprised of a mass of fibrous tissue and tendrils that burrow into the ground to hold the host in place. Instead of skin, the host is covered in muscular tissue fibers, tendons, and veins. In some parts of the body are covered in a meaty plate, used to cover any large exposed areas, but allowing movement. The host's head has a smooth surface where the face should be, attached to a crooked neck, which houses a slit in the front used for feeding. On the host's back is a mound of pores. Protruding from these pores are hollow, hair-like structures, extending outwards. These hairs are barrels that release spores produced within host's body by being fired into the air. These spores are hazardous, so keep clear of them at all costs. Luckily, the host is rare, only found in North America. Obtaining info about the host is a very risky and daunting task. This is because of their rarity and of how dangerous it is to be up close to one. The spores released by a host is very dangerous when inhaled. A host will release a cloud of spores into the air, which will be picked up by wind and carried great distances. If an organism inhales the spores, the particles will find their way into the organism's brain and infect them. An infected organism will show no symptoms of infection right away, but a couple hours after infection the infected organism's behavior and thought process will change. The first symptoms that appear are restlessness, sluggish movement, numbness of joints, and lack of coordination. Then more serious symptoms appear over time. These include dizziness, migraines, impaired speech, and trembles. If you
Maybe
or
I've been
someone you know
infected.
show these symptoms, contact poison control or emergency services. After a total of 6 to 7 hours after infection, the organism will cease all activities they were previously doing and begin to walk. The direction the infected will walk is towards the host whose spores have been inhaled by the infected individual.
Is it
If
you?
the infected makes their way to the host, they will kneel down in front of it, expose their vital organs, and the host will promptly gut and remove those organs. The host will consume them and discard the leftover scraps. However, if an infected organism doesn't reach the host within a 36-hour span or is treated for their infection, the effects will wear off and return back to normal. If a host is unable to find prey or doesn't like its current location, it will unroot itself and move to a new location. Their scarce numbers and the hazard of being around one makes getting info about the host very daunting. All you need to currently know is that the host is extremely dangerous and should be avoided at all costs. Next, the monoliths.
The monoliths? The monolith? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is all for today. We will continue this at a later date. That's really all I have time for. I've been recording for almost an hour now, and after all of this, I'm pretty scared, and I haven't eaten dinner. So, without further ado, if you liked the video, please show some love, subscribe, turn on notifications, and don't be afraid to comment. Alright, I will see you, ladies and gentlemen, later. Spooky out.